Well, it's so good to see everyone coming in tonight. We got a number of people on our radio telephone network. We got a lot of people coming in on YouTube and Facebook. And you would think, well, here it is. It's going to be Father's Day tomorrow, and happy Father's Day to all you guys out there, the fathers. And also, I wanted to say that, it's going to also be the first day of summer. Now, you would think that, everyone would be out going to the beach, going to the mountains, just kind of piddling around the yard somewhere. But here they are coming into the six screens. So thank you for wanting to spend some time with us here in the six screens. Tell the network, well, my name's Rick Farron, and that woman in the background, that's my beautiful wife, Susan, and she's got an announcement she'll be making very shortly. So by all means, stay in for that. But just a couple of thoughts I wanted to bring up as well tonight. We are gathering a lot of people that have, as of late, come into the six screens more than you would expect. We're seeing an increase in our YouTube videos of upwards of 2 to 5,000 people a night. So this is just amazing to me that we see these type of numbers. So I wanted to just say that we have had some issues with the chat on not on Facebook but on YouTube. So we do have some trolls that come in. These could be Watchtower operatives. I'm not sure who they are, but what I would like to say is those coming in, be gentle, be civil when you're writing. Now, Nicole, if you're listening, I don't know if you are or not. I see that you did email me this week, and you wanted to be a moderator. I'm looking for moderators in the chat room to kind of just watch these trolls from the Watchtower or watch some of these people that are acting in a very uncivilized fashion. So by all means,
I can do that for you, Rick.
Nicole,
I can do that for you.
would you like to do that?
Yes, it's me.
Okay, Nicole, I'll be in touch with you. I'll be in touch with you this
Okay.
week. I'll get you all the you need some passwords and things to get in there, but I want you to do that.
Okay.
Thank you for reaching out. Really, I really appreciate that. Thank you, Nicole.
You're welcome.
Yeah. So, anyways, the Six Screens Tele Network, we've been doing it now for 20 years, and I have to tell you that we've never missed a Saturday night. Now, I enjoy doing this. I really, really do. This is like the highlight of my week. But we are here because you are here. I never realized when we first started this program 20 years ago that so many people would get connected to it. And the reason why they're connected to it is just not me sitting here bloviating all night. It's the people that are calling in. You are the ones that make this program. I can't really tell you enough that I get emails all the time, people texting me and even calling me and saying, Rick, what I really like about the six screens is I am listening to people in real time that have left the Watchtower. This is therapeutic. Some people even look at the six screens as being a giant therapy session. Now, we don't have trained therapists here. And even if we did, it might not make too much of a difference, right? You want to hear from people that have experienced the same things you did. And nothing's better than that. It really is being able to speak with people that have been touched by the tentacles of the Watchtower, just like you. Well, let's see. Okay, I'm going to give you a little idea here. Susan, my wife. Now, we have been married now, going on, it's 13 years. And what I have to say is when I first met Susan, even before we got married 13 years ago, really, she had a hotline, and it was a six screens hotline. And that's what Susan did. And people would call in. Now, they didn't want to come on YouTube. They didn't want to come on Facebook. They just wanted to talk. And Susan, she did that. And I tell you, some days she got upwards of 10, 12 calls a day. And people were calling in from pretty much all over the place. And they would talk to Susan. And they were afraid to come on the Six Screens Live on a program on Saturday night. So Susan manned the hotline. And then we let the hotline go for a while. But we're going to bring that hotline back. And the reason why we're bringing it back is there's so many people right now leaving the Watchtower that really would like to, talk to someone like in private not being recorded, not on Facebook, not on YouTube, not on our radio network. They just wanted to be able to speak to someone because right now, I'm telling you, I can't see them through the computer here, but there are people listening into this program tonight that have really been hurt by the Watchtower organization. There are some people tonight probably sitting in a room somewhere and really distraught. They have no friends, they have no company. All of their witness friends and relatives have got up and packed their bags. They have nothing to do with this poor person, and you know who you are, and you're kind of intimidated, you're kind of afraid to call into the six screens. But the thing is, Susan is going to man this hotline, and it's going to start July 1st. And I'm going to give you all the information you need next Saturday night. I'm going to give you the telephone number, and you'll be able to call Susan, and she'll be able to answer all your thoughts and speak with you all about your trek out of the Watchtower. So, Susan, come on right over here, honey.
Hello, everyone.
Well, this is Susan. This is my wife. And like I say, she did an excellent job. I have to tell you, it's one of the reasons why I fell in love with Susan, is the fact that she did such a good job. Well, she came up to Massachusetts. As a matter of fact, Susan called into the program one night, and she liked the six screens so much that she wanted to come up here and work for the six screens. She said, Rick, I'll come up there and work for nothing. I said, well, you can't work for nothing, Susan. But we didn't have any romantic thing or anything going at the time. So she actually flew up here in an airplane, landed at Logan Airport, and well, she stayed in a motel or hotel for quite a while. And I said, and then we started, talking and fell in love with each other. So here we are today. But I have to tell you, she did a really good job on the Six Queens hotline. Now, Susan, you're ready to do this now. We talked about it. She wants to take it back out to sea, so to speak. Susan, tell us about the hotline years ago.
Well, it really helps people who are right at the apex of should I or shouldn't I leave the Watchtower. And sometimes feelings are so private. Sometimes they're personal, such as I have a boyfriend who is a Jehovah's Witness, and I want to get married, and he doesn't want to, and I want to know, is he going to marry me? Well, those are difficult questions, but generally I ask, is he living with his mother? If he is, I say, I wouldn't put any more time in because that's not going to happen. And it was usually true. But it doesn't matter what you want to ask, even if it's just, hello, I'm out here. I just left the Watchtower, or I just got this fellowship last night. I was doing this about 13, 14 years ago, and I enjoyed it. Rick was very kind to let me do it because at the time there was a woman named Marilyn Zweifel, and she had just recently passed away. I had never heard of her, but she had been doing a hotline for the six. Well, it wasn't for the six screens, but just for the against the Watchtower, and I took it over basically, and I've always mentioned her name because it's really her that started the whole thing. I just kind of filled in where things fell apart. So I'm really excited about doing this because Rick and we're at the forefront of what's going on, and we get the phone calls. Believe me, we do, and we would like to continue to take them, but sometimes Rick just isn't able to do it all. So I would be very happy and very privileged to be able to help him to take some of the phone calls that maybe you wanted to call Rick and feel, oh, he's too busy, or I don't know if I want to talk to him about this problem because I'm a woman and he's a man. Please feel free to call, and we'll give you all the information next week. And I'm really excited about doing this. And just to let you know, this phone is not just for chit chat to say, hi, Susan, how you doing? This is for people who really need help. Because what I found when I first started calling into the six screens is talking about your problems, finding someone who has the same experience as you is more helpful than sometimes any kind of special therapist could give you. Because I found out trying to find a psychiatrist or psychologist, it's hard for them. There aren't a lot that have experienced the Watchtower, but I have and others have. So we can kind of put ourselves in your place. So I appreciate being able to do this again. And Rick and I just felt that this was a needed thing that we wanted to restore to the Six Screens lineup.
Well, very good, Susan. What I find here is fascinating too. Now, I would say in the year and a half that Susan did the Six Queens hotline back then, I would say that she had I'm just going to throw a number out. I don't know for sure, but I'd say somewhere between maybe 300 and to 500 people that called in. And, because what it is, you know what it's like when you were leaving the Watchtower, you didn't know what to do. You didn't know who to talk to. And, you couldn't go to friends and talk about it. They were Jehovah's Witnesses, but it really was interesting. And the one thing that I always remember was happening on the Six Screens call to Susan, and most people were leaving back then for lack of love.
Yes.
And that was really a big concern and really shocked me. I thought people would be leaving for doctrinal reasons. I thought they would have been leaving over the child molestation, sexual abuse problems in the Watchtower, but it was because of a lack of love. And so many people called in and said that they're not getting any love going to the Kingdom Hall. So, but not tonight. We're going to be discussing a little bit of that later as well. Why are people leaving the Watchtower? Why aren't they leaving the Watchtower? We're going to discuss that tonight. So anyways, thank you, Susan. And we'll give you all the information next week, right here on our program next Saturday night here on the Six Screens. Well, we really appreciate it's up to you. Want to hang in here with me, Susan? You can. It's up to you. All right, hang right in here with me, and we can kind of help me with some of this. I wanted to bring up, I'm noticing something. Well, I've been noticing it for a while. You know that. And it has to do, the Watchtower is all about money. Well, we know that. It is. But, there's something they're doing now that I'm noticing that they never did before. And, let's roll the clocks back to begin with. If we roll the clocks back 20 years ago, when I started doing the Six Screens on a Saturday night, I was always looking for news. I was always looking for something that was kind of current in the Jehovah's Witness world. And everything was positive. There wasn't much cynical, negative, critical news about the Watchtower. So they would always have like conventions, especially in the summer. And when the convention started, they would always rant and rave about we're coming into Boston, we're coming into LA, and we got all these witnesses coming in. And they never really bragged about the amount of money that the cities would actually get by hosting the Jehovah's Witnesses. Now they're doing that. Have you seen that? They're now doing this, and they're letting people know on their, they have, as you know, a TikTok account. They got an Instagram account. So now even on jw.org, they're letting people know how benefiting it is for these cities to host a Jehovah's Witness convention. Now, in one particular one I saw, the Watchtower is bragging. It didn't name the city. I won't name the city. But the Watchtower is bragging that the city where they're having the convention, now we know the end of May, the conventions start here in the United States, these regional conventions. That's what they call them now. So in one of these clips off of jw.org, they're actually boasting that the city is going to bring in $1.25 million because of all the witnesses staying there and, having a hotel and being able to eat at restaurants and just going to gift shops or whatever they're doing. So the Watchtower is boasting that the witnesses are bringing in to the city. Now, they didn't do that before. They used to do it in a subtle way. In fact, they didn't mention any numbers. They never mentioned numbers. But now they're mentioning numbers. And I'm scratching my head here. I'm saying, why is the Watchtower doing this? Well, look I've been talking about this now for the last couple of years on the Six Screens. The governments of the world are coming down on the Watchtower. They're not happy with the Watchtower. They know the problems the Watchtower creates for people's lives, and the sexual abuse cover-ups, the shunning, the refusing blood. The Jehovah's Witnesses have a very tarnished image in the world. So now, what I believe they're doing by saying, hey, in Los Angeles, or wherever it would be, the witnesses are going to bring a couple of $1 million into the city. Well, that's PR. That is PR at its best. I mean, what city doesn't like to have a convention? What city doesn't like to bring in millions of dollars? Well, the Watchtower is going to take advantage of that. And that's what, look at, this is not your grandfather's Watchtower anymore. This, if I heard that as a kid, I'd really wonder about that. I mean, I grew up as a so-called in the truth, and you didn't hear stuff like that. But now people are hearing this for the first time. They're actually bragging about the amount of money that's coming in. So I find it very, very fascinating. And
Also, the parking lot money too.
oh, and parking lot
That-
money too.
that
Yeah.
can be,
Oh, yeah. That's something else, Susan.
yeah.
We know that they've, many times they charge for parking and really shouldn't have been doing it. But the Watchtower always said, and you all know it. I'm preaching to the choir here sometimes, but you know that the Watchtower always said that they weren't like the churches of Christendom, and they said they never really focus on charitable works or promoting any economic impact. I mean, they've made statements like that in the past,
Not true.
and now we see they're doing the very thing they said they don't do. So, well, Jehovah's Witnesses are trying to give an impression to these cities and the governments and the people that, oh, we are so good. But
We're like Billy Graham.
yeah,
We're
listen,
bringing in a Billy Graham convention.
well, it's a false present.
Yeah.
It really, really is. I came across something too, and I wanted to share this with you. Now, look, we're going to be bringing on in about 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes from now. We have a woman, and she is an AI expert. Her name is Quinita Bradshaw. She'll be on with us very shortly. So you guys just got to hold on because you're going to love her. This woman's very sharp. She's on the
Oh,
ball.
She's
And
so intelligent.
yeah, we talked to her, and
Yes.
she's going to share some thoughts with us that I think you'll really, really like. But before we get to Quiana, that is,
Quinia.
Quiana, am I pronouncing that right?
It's
Yeah.
Quinia, I
It's
believe.
actually Quiana. I'm going to ask her when she comes on. Quiana, yeah, I think it is. Yeah. So, anyways, what we got here? Okay, so we just talked. Susan's going to do the hotline, and we were talking about why Jehovah's Witnesses were leaving. And of course, back then, 12, 13 years ago, it was because of a lack of love. And I still think that could be the major reason why Jehovah's Witnesses are leaving the religion, and they're leaving in masses. Now, if everyone left at once, we know all the PMOs out there, right? Those that are physically in, mentally out. If they all left at once, you'd hear a big sucking sound. You really would. They'd all be, it would just be like a vacuum cleaner sucking them all out of there. And they'd be probably 4 million. That's what we feel here at the 6 Screens. But now we talk about the reason why they were leaving. Now, we have some main reasons now why Jehovah's Witnesses are remaining Jehovah's Witnesses. This is mind-boggling to all of us. You say to yourself, you get relatives, you get friends, you see all this stuff happening in the witness world, and you say, what is keeping these people in? Well, why are they staying in the Watchtower? Well, I came across some information on Reddit. You know Reddit, right? They have a bunch of ex-witnesses give their thoughts, and then they took a little survey, evidently, and I'm going to give you the reason why most Jehovah's Witnesses are remaining in the Watchtower religion. Now, this might it might not come as a shock, but I would think there was another reason. But the main reason why Jehovah's Witnesses are staying in their religion has to do with everlasting life on paradise earth.
That's right.
That is, they don't want to lose that. Friends, that is, who doesn't want to live forever on a paradise earth and have, walk around with grapefruit the size of a basketball? And who doesn't want to live in a place where it's beautiful and waterfalls and blue sky? Everyone wants that. The packaging is good. The Watchtower knows how to package it. So that's the main reason why Jehovah's Witnesses, according to this Reddit survey, are staying in the Watchtower. Now, I'm going to throw it out on the table here right now. If anybody knows another reason, what would you think it'd be? What would you have thought? Would it? Yes, Larry. Yes.
Yeah, I actually talked to a friend of mine who's still in it, and I started trying to share some of the false things in the Watchtower, and you still there?
Yes.
Oh,
Still here. Yep.
okay. So he said that he's been in it so long, that's all he knows, and he wouldn't know where else to go. So basically, it's just like any other church. People get stuck in it, and that's all they know, and they're comfortable with it, and so they don't leave it. Because any church has problems. Any church, like even the Catholic Church, they had trouble with pedophilia. They get a lot of money from the people, but Catholic Church does give out money too. But still, each church has their own problems, but they're stuck in it because that's all they know.
Well, Larry, now there's a term for that. In fact, that was one of the reasons I thought before I read this article on Reddit, and that's called some cost. Some cost. SOME, some cost. I'm sorry, not SO. It's SUM cost. Now, what that has to do with is a person like you just said have been in it so long, they don't know where they're gonna go. They don't know what they're gonna do. It's like a person. I always use the analogy of buying lotto tickets every day, and he's never really won the lotto. He buys them every day. He says, "Well, if I stop now, I might never win. I can't give up now. I got to keep going." Same thing with a witness. So I thought the sum cost would have been the main reason. Well, thank you, Larry. Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
This is John Terrio. Is it okay if I come on?
Sure. Go ahead, John.
I wanted to comment on what you're saying about, which main reason why people stay at the congregations. If you think about it, man, I remember when I was going to the meetings, I kind of looked forward to going, you get to talk with everybody, visit with everybody. Everybody seemed to be so nice. And, there was a form of positiveness that came along with that. So, since I've been out for 26 years, I find that, I don't have the social structure that I used to have. I'm a very friendly person. I can go out and talk with anybody, but I don't find that people in society today are very friendly. Everybody wants to argue about politics, religion, and whatever. But there is no real friendly social connection in the world, in the real society that we live in, outside the organization of Jehovah's Witnesses. So I really believe that, it's the fear of going into the real world and being alone and not having any friends, because it's really hard to make friends, out in society, and make good friends. So I think one of the main reasons, and I really believe that truthfully, one of the main strong reasons, personal reasons why they stay in, is because they have that unity in the organization. They have that social clique. We're different from the rest of the world. We're special people, and I think that they try to hang on to that. They try to hang on to that security, the security of not being in the world, the security of going to the Kingdom Hall. Because if you think about it, at the Kingdom Hall, everybody's really so nice. Now I don't know if they're just putting on a front or if it's genuine, but everybody's really nice. So I think that people are afraid of what's out there in the world. They're afraid to go out there and you know, even if they don't believe in the teachings anymore, they're afraid to go out there into the real world. And so they hang on to going to the Kingdom Hall. They hang on to, you know, having friends in the Kingdom Hall. It's kind of like a security blanket. Don't you agree with that?
Oh yeah, no doubt that's another reason, right? Once you have friends, it's and you know you feel they were good friends. You didn't realize they were fair weather friends, but you're right, John. That's another reason I'm sure why people hang into the Watchtower. Yes.
They're better than no friends at all. And also, when you leave the Watchtower, you're not really you don't have friends in the world, and you don't have friends at the Kingdom Hall, so you're just left in this limbo of nothingness. So no one really wants to walk into that.
Go ahead, Larry. Yes.
Rick,
Yes.
this is Zachary.
Oh, Zachary.
Zachary,
Yes.
you just now mentioned certain types of costs, and you said some costs. I think you brought that up before, but you used a different word. You called it sunk costs.
Yeah, I did use that term. It can be referred to that as well. Yeah.
And you know what it is? I think it is a cost accounting term where you have you've put money into starting a new line of something, a production, line A. And then you realize, oh, wait, we could be doing line B, but you've already put money into line A. But you've got to make a decision. Will line A or line B be more profitable moving forward? So at some point, even the cost that you've already sunk into line A, you might not use that as part of your decision because you're trying to be profitable from now on. So those are sunk costs. It's not a good idea to use sunk costs as part of your decision. So when you've got people who are witnesses and they've sunk costs, they've put money, they've used their opportunity costs, they put it all into the Watchtower. Now they're seeing things are not the same as they thought they were. It's not necessarily a good idea to only look at what you put in to the Watchtower because you want to move forward and improve your life moving forward. But I would believe that people are sticking to the witnesses because it's what they're used to. It's what they're used to, and they're afraid to move away from it. They've got those sunk costs in there.
Well, exactly. That's good. Now, I could also, in fact, along those same line of reasoning, we could call it habitual. Hold on one second. We could call it habitual. You know, it's just you're in the habit of going to the meetings. You're in the habit of being one of Jehovah's Witnesses. It's hard to break the habit. Go ahead, brother. You're on with us. Who's this? Yes.
Yeah, hey, Rick, can I talk? There's 210 San Antonio. Can I talk, Rick?
Go ahead. You're on with us. Yep.
Okay, thank you, Rick. Hey, Rick, my name's Mark. I'm from San Antonio. I've called the program before, Rick, and I'm here discussing what you're saying keeps people in the organization, Rick. That's what you're talking about right, more or less right now, correct?
Yes, yes.
Okay, well, Rick, this is me personally, Rick, my personal experience, and I'm going to tell you what it is. I think keeping people in the Jehovah's Witnesses in the Watchtower, and I even want to take a little time to briefly relate a personal experience, so maybe at the end, ask you how you would handle this personally. One thing that I believe keeping people in the Watchtower, Rick, the hope of the resurrection. That's a big one, Rick. I'll tell you, I recently had a cousin that broke with a cerebral palsy, a serious disease. And of course, because just like me, he grew up in a witness family. He was forced to go to the meetings and forced to do this and that. And he was basically had to be in this. And my brother, who's a pioneer and an elder, sent me a text about last week letting me know that he died and he passed away. And I said, oh, I feel bad for that. And he said, yeah, but we know we're going to have the hope that we're going to see him in the resurrection. And I just tell my brother, yeah, if you believe in that, I sure don't. And then my brother sent me a text, you know, I feel sad for you, Mark. What hope do you have? The Bible itself proves that the resurrection is real. And I'm going to see Mom again. We're going to see our family again. And you're not going to be there to see everybody in paradise, Mark.
when the resurrection comes. And I think that's a big one there. Even my father, Rick, who's probably maybe about he's 81 now, and my mother passed away 2 years ago, and he still has that hope he's gonna see her again in a paradise. And says, well, Dad, shouldn't Armageddon have come already, Dad? Shouldn't we be in paradise? No, you shouldn't do that. That's wrong. And basically, that's what I think. That hope of that resurrection, Rick. You know what I mean?
Well, no, I'm sorry. I do know what you mean, Mark, but I'll tell you now what you want to do with your dad, okay? And I've said this before on the 6 screens. You know, your dad's 81. It's the only hope he has, right? So, you know, let your dad be. Let him have that hope. You know, there's younger ones out there. I'd rather have you go after them and try to talk them out of this. But let your dad go. It's the only hope he has. And but you're right with this. Yeah, you're right with the people leaving, not leaving because of the resurrection. They want to see their who doesn't want to see their loved ones again?
But that's a bunch of baloney, Rick. I mean, we both know that.
Oh yeah, but like I say, when a person gets old, like your dad, cut him some slack, Mark. Cut him some slack because you're not going to get to first base. If you're not, let him have the hope and let God take care of it. God will work with him, I'm sure. Well, thank you, Mark.
And it's not just my dad; it's all my family there. Still, that's their main reason for staying. Almost all of them are witnesses because of the hope of that resurrection.
Well, there you go. I'll put that down. I have to agree with you. That's a major reason why many are staying in. Well, Mark, always good to hear from you. You're very emphatic. Yeah, go ahead, sister.
This is Bernadette. I'll tell you why I stayed in, because I truly believed that it was the only true religion. Now, when I think Yahweh really helped me, I accidentally ended up on a apostate website, and it didn't take but a minute, more than a minute, but it didn't take long at all to see the red flags start coming up. I remember I saw a young man who had been a ministerial servant and pioneer, and he was talking about the 607 not being an accurate date. Of course, the CSA comes up real quick. And then, the thing that bothered me the most and still does is them trying to say that Jesus is not the mediator. And then early on, like I found out about Ray Franz's book. I listened to it on Audible like within a week. And I never went back. But and this is something that I really feel strongly about, is that I think we need to help Jehovah's Witnesses, because there are a lot of sincere, good people that are being brainwashed and that are in this organization. And one thing that I look back on my life, and there are people that are thrilled that I'm out of it. But why didn't they try to share things with me along the way? And I do think that sometimes people are, I don't know if they're afraid of Jehovah's Witnesses, afraid to talk to them, or because really, and I even think this should be a ministry. Like, I think in the churches, people should be educated how to talk to Jehovah's Witnesses to help them, because most people really firmly believe that Jehovah's Witnesses are misled, but I don't think maybe people don't know how to help them. Maybe they don't know what key issues to try to, enlighten them about. But I really do believe that witnesses people should talk to them. And I know it's hard because they're brainwashed and immediately they'll shut you down if you don't come in just the right way. But I really do believe that people have a right to know. And I hear what you're saying about the old people, like let them just live it out in peace. But I also have to say that I hear people that are even, like, I'm 70 and I'm so happy to be out of that mess. And it's only been like 2.5 years. And I'm glad that I know I know that it's a satanic cult. I'm glad to be away from it. And I know that other people leave when they're even 80. And I understand, like, it's a challenge and maybe, like you say, leaving God's hands. And that's definitely an option. But I don't know, think of it from God's view. Isn't it nice to at least give them the opportunity to know that the true fact and separate? But I understand what you're saying, because that can create its own volcano, and maybe in one instance it'll turn out delightful and another a train wreck. But anyway, I do believe strongly that there needs to be an organized effort to enlighten Jehovah's Witnesses, especially about the mediator of Jesus.
Hey, sister. I've tried that. There was a market, farmer's market here in Camarillo, and I tried that. I would show them their own literature and show them, and they would call the police on me. Their minds are so closed, they really don't listen.
I understand it's a challenge, and I know they're brainwashed, and I would have done the same thing 3 years ago. I would have shut somebody right down, but that's why it's a challenge. Absolutely. But I do think if we really, for the people that love God, still love God and want to follow Jesus, I think it would really be nice if we made that a ministry to try to find a way to help them, because I sure wish somebody could have knocked it into my head decades before, so that I could have had those years of my life that I could have lived in Christian freedom.
Well,
sister, that's a ministry that you could start right now yourself, because it's needed. I tried to do the same thing, Larry.
I'm willing to help you with that. If you want to work together, you're welcome to contact me, and I'll work with you.
I'm absolutely, like, I've thought of it for months now that I would, because I do want to do a ministry. We should make disciples, and I really I've been thinking that what I'd like to do is visit different churches, and if the pastor would let me just have a short segment and actually share some talking points with the people, and even like maybe a little short note, where some notes, just not real elaborate. But here's the thing with me, I just woke up 2.5 years ago, so I've really been trying to get my own feet solid on the ground spiritually. And I'm actually, I kind of feel pretty good with that now, but definitely I'm still in my own little dust storm. But I would like to do visiting the churches and talking to the people. But I also have the dream, if I could get myself a billboard, I have the dream that you could put a billboard and you could put information on there that Jehovah's Witnesses would have to see when they were driving down the road. Just a point about the mediator.
Well, hold on, Sister Bernadette, hold on 1 second. And Larry, he's been doing this for a while. I've been doing it now for 20 years of trying to get Jehovah's Witnesses to really get out of it and become spiritually really attached to God. But the problem that you have is there's so many witnesses that have been so spiritually abused, Bernadette. There's no way that they want to become a Christian. They've been so hurt. It's like a person that's been sexually abused, maybe by a man, and they don't want to have anything to do with a man. That's what I'm finding out is going on right now with many people. Only a small percentage of people who leave the Watchtower are spiritually inclined. Most do not leave because of doctrinal discussion. But you just keep moving in the direction you are, and that's a good direction. And I know you're trying to help so many people. And I'm not going to say give up on it. I wouldn't say that. But boy, you are dealing with people that are totally abused, Bernadette. And it's so hard to even get to. It's so hard to get to first base. I've been trying it for over 20 years. I've had a little church in
Hey, Rick,
my house. Yes, Larry.
can I burn my email and have her contact me?
Of course. Go ahead, Larry.
Okay. Kind.
Okay, wait, let me
Okay, go
get a pen. Are you sure
Okay.
you want to do this publicly over the phone?
Yeah, sure. I'm an open book.
Hold on.
I'm an open book.
It's weird. Yes, you have. How you doing, Larry?
Hey, good. Who's this?
This is Apostle Babe.
Oh, hi, Apostle Babe. Good to hear from you.
Yeah, good to hear you too.
Okay, I've got a pencil.
Okay. Kind.
What's your name?
My name's Larry John Wayne.
Oh, good name. Larry John Wayne.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And my email is kindloving2001@yahoo.com.
Okay. kindloving2001@yahoo.com.
I didn't quite understand what you said. Kind as in being a kind person, right? Kind loving 2001@yahoo.com. Yes.
Okay, thank you, Larry John Wayne.
You're
is
welcome.
Wayne your last name?
Yes, it is.
Rick, I like the name. Your parents were very creative. Rick, okay, so you've been doing this 20 years, and I trust your opinion. So what do you think would be, from what I was kind of thinking, what is your thoughts on what would be the best approach?
Well, I was thinking that the best approach, and I was wrong. The best approach I thought was, on Saturday night, we don't discuss religion. We don't get into doctrinal scriptures or anything of that nature. So I always thought that when we first started our programming on the 6 screens, the first program was for Christians. I was trying to reach Jehovah's Witnesses. And that's when we first started this. It was a Christian program, so to speak. But then what we did, I figured, wow, if we're trying to get Jehovah's Witnesses, we got to let Jehovah's Witnesses know what's wrong in the Watchtower. So that came second. But, for 20 years, I've been trying to, every other Sunday, we have a Christian program, so to speak. So if people want to come in, they can. But it doesn't get anywhere near the amount of people that come in on Saturday night. It just doesn't. The people just are not interested. Now, that is Jehovah's Witnesses are not interested. They have been so spiritually abused, and when they get out of the Watchtower, they don't want anything at all to do with religion. And I don't blame them. The Watchtower hurt them so much. Well, what do you think, Susan?
Well, we've noticed that only about 20% of people that come out of the Watchtower are still interested in spirituality. Now, that may mean Jehovah God, or that may mean some other kind of God, but only about 20%. It's not very, very much. And I have tried myself to approach churches and ask ministers, could you please, one sermon a year, talk about cults and how not to get involved in cults and how to talk to people who approach you at the door from cults. None of them said they wanted to do it. None. And I only asked for just a small amount of time. And I was about 4 or 5 churches. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
But Bernadette, you're on. Look at them. I don't want to burst your bubble, but you keep trying. Don't.
Yes,
Yeah.
please.
You might be able to get through. Maybe the times are changing.
I would love to hear good experiences from you, Bernadette.
Rick?
Hi, Bernadette. This is Linda.
Hi.
This is Linda. Hi, Bernadette. I heard what you said about to a church and maybe sharing a few points. And I've done this and enjoyed it. And because you do know Jehovah's Witness doctrine, it would come very natural for you. And basically, you would email or send a flyer or a letter stating that you would be willing to do that to help educate those of these churches about the Watchtower doctrine and how they can witness to them. So then we have more people out there in the world that are familiar with their doctrines or techniques and tactics, and they won't be as easily indoctrinated or recruited.
Correct.
So I've had the chance to do that, and it was very enjoyable, and it might even fall under the category of what is called apologetics, which was very, very popular about in the 80s, but it's still going strong. And apologetics is about standing up for your faith. You know, it sounds like you're wanting to go in the direction of Jehovah's Witnesses being introduced to a pathway of Christianity, mainstream Christianity. Is that what you're thinking?
Yes, I think they need to be rescued. So, Linda, you felt you had some positive results, right?
Well, basically, I would share the points I had to share, and then I would leave it open for people to ask questions. And I basically knew most of the answers, and I think you will too. And if you leave something with them, for them to be able to contact you, then, you know, the more people, you know, start with your own town or your own county and write letters or emails to local pastors. And I'm thinking you're talking mainstream Christianity.
Yes, yes.
Yeah, so I've been very successful with doing that. And then guess what? Sometimes they give you what's called a love offering. And you just they hand you an envelope, and it has money in it.
Don't do it for
I don't need money, but I would love it. You know, like my brother.
Hey, well, we're going to, Bernadette, I'm not trying to cut you off here, but we do have a lot of other people. I got a guest that's going to be coming on.
Oh, I'm
But
sorry.
yeah,
I'm sorry.
yeah. So
Linda, I wish I could talk to you more. But is there a way that I could talk to you at a later time, Linda?
if you write me, and I'll give you Linda's number. Okay, Linda?
Okay. And thank you, Rick. I won't take any more time. Thank
Okay,
you.
yeah, no, thank you, Bernadette. Don't mean to cut you off, but I got a very special guest coming on here very shortly, and there's also some other people that wanted to comment. Who's that?
Definitely get in touch with Larry.
Good.
Okay,
Good.
bye-bye.
Thank you, Linda. All right, who was the other people who want to come in? We had a bunch of people. Go ahead. Is that you, Mike? Go ahead.
Yeah, it's me. Yeah, I'll just I don't want to belabor the subject.
Hey,
but-
Rick.
Oh, never mind. Go
Oh,
ahead.
no, hold on. Mike, you go first. Hold on, let Mike talk.
Hey, Rick.
Hold on, let Mike talk. Go ahead, Mike.
Oh,
Okay. I don't want to belabor the subject, but I just wanted to tell that Bernadette that's what I do also. You know, I think I told you about this. I go from church to church, educate people about the witnesses and what to do, how to answer. And I know what you're talking about, Rick, when you say, you don't think you're getting any progress. But I have a friend, and I've talked to you about this. He's a professional, and I've been talking to him for over 40 years now, and it's starting to get to him. I would just want to share this conversation that I had with him just this week, because he called me and we were talking about the golf. You know, he was a professional golfer, and we were talking back and forth. And I told him about Bernhard Longer. I said, Bernhard Longer's father was a bricklayer too. You might want to remember that, because I know you were in the masonry business. But I said, you know, Bernhard Longer's father was a brick mason, and he accepted Jesus Christ, Mort. And how do you, when you were out on tour, I said, how did you witness to people on tour? And that's how the conversation got started, you know. And it was a very interesting conversation. And he finally asked me this question. He says, Michael, where am I going to go to? We went through all the information, and he knows that they teach false teachings. He knows that the witnesses teach false teachings. And he says, but where am I going to go to? Where can I go to find good friends and to have that spiritual information? How would you answer that, Rick? I'll be interested. I know how I did, but how would you answer that?
Well, obviously, I mean, you're going to find, first of all, you're going to seek out people that are following Christ, and you're going to seek out a good church. You're going to want to, and the church doesn't have to be a mega church. It can be just a small little group. It could be a house church. But as long as you meet with people that are willing to, discuss scripture in a sensible, balanced way, and that's what you would say. Now, I want to let Bernadette know. You don't mind if I give Bernadette your telephone number, Mike?
No, because we also have tapes that go through which has tapes and CDs that go through every teaching of the Jehovah's Witness, and counter that with the actual Christian teaching, what the Bible says.
Yeah.
There's somebody on here with a bad microphone.
Yeah, we got the so a bunch of people coming. Yeah, hold on. Let me try to get that off here. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, a lot of people coming in here tonight. All right. So, all right. Well, thank you, Michael. I'll give Bernadette your number. Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. All right.
I didn't mean to try to cut you off, Mike.
All right. Who was that? Someone's got a bad phone line out there. Hold on 1 second. Okay. Well, what I want you guys to do, kind of help me out here. I ask you this all the time. When you're not speaking up, when you're not speaking up, mute your phone. Let's say we take two more calls, and we got a guest I got to bring on here shortly. So let's go. Let's go to. Let me call the number. Let's go to 660. Is it 660? Who's that?
Yeah, that's me, Rick. It's Brother Dean. How you doing, brother?
Well, Dean, I'm cranking away at it. Yep.
Hello.
Hi, lovely Susan.
Hi,
Great
Dean.
to see you.
So what's happening, Dean?
Yeah, I just want to say, Rick, just to expound on what you were mentioning earlier, I really look to the 6 screens. Like you say, it's therapy. It's great stuff because we can just be ourselves and talk about a wide variety of subjects usually, right?
Yeah.
And for me, Brother Rick, I tell you, the 6 screens on Saturday night, it's like my Bible study, brother. It really is.
Yeah.
I mean, the highlight, like you said, the highlight of my Saturday is the 6 screens Saturday.
Well, thank you.
You know?
Yeah. I'm glad you like it. Glad you like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I just want to say, we can talk about a wide variety of subjects. It's good to be varied in spirituality. As you know, I'm an old time mortician, coroner investigator, and all that. You know, read about the Tao Te Ching and, other spirituality, because I've done that. It's good to have an open mind that we talk about and question everything, right?
Oh, yeah.
And when you really have a love for Christ that I have, I would like to think, everything will point you back to Christ. And I'm not trying to sound preachy at all, but I just want to mention that. And you know what? If you feel that you want to read into Buddhism and then you start practicing Buddhism, hey, in my book, you're going to be a better citizen of the world, your community, because you have that Buddhism mindset. And it's all about trying to improve ourselves, and we all are, correct?
Well, that's the whole thing, and we're all in search of the truth, Dean, right?
Exactly.
Well, there you go. Always good to hear from you. You made my night. You come on. You come on, and all of a sudden I see our numbers going up.
Oh, hey, I want to interject a little bit of humor.
Sure.
If I may.
Sure.
I can see why you married Susan. She is lovely.
Oh, she sure is.
But did you know that she's a bitch?
Who said that?
It's an acronym, bitch. She's beautiful, intelligent, trustworthy, charming, and honorable.
Well,
you're awesome, Susan.
Well, thank you, Gene. That's very kind.
Well,
kind.
I agree with you. I agree with everything you said. Really, really. Well, thank you, Dean, for those nice comments for Susan,
He scared me
and
for a minute.
that's good that you can say that. Thank you very much. All right, so that's Dean. We all love Dean. We've got a guest coming on here. Boy, I'd like to keep that conversation going, but I want to bring on Quiana Bradshaw. Let's bring her on right now, and she can kind of tell us a little bit about herself. Hello, Quiana. Am I pronouncing it right? Is it Quiana?
Kiana?
It's Kiana, like you put a key in the door.
Oh, a
Kiana.
key. All right. I knew I was.
Yes,
I knew I wasn't saying it right. So,
that's
see,
all
Kiana.
right.
I like that.
Yeah.
I like that even nicer. That's nice.
Thank
But
you.
I like Quiana too, but I like Kiana better. So
Yes.
there you are. You're in person. You have got talking about a good, charming personality. You have one. Susan and I, we talked to you this week. We were so wow. She radiates confidence. She's alive.
He's
And
intelligent.
intelligent, and coming out of the Watchtower, you seem to come out pretty much unscathed, Kiana.
Yeah. I've always had doubts when I was a kid, so that
Yeah.
helps.
Well,
That
I'm
helped
going
a
to
lot.
say that now you're talking to a woman here that is a doctor. She is a doctor of technology, you could say. Now, you went to MIT up here?
No, I went to Florida Institute of Technology and I did some learning with MIT, but yeah, I went in school in Colorado a lot.
Well, good for you, Kiana. Now,
Absolutely.
well, I respect everything you've done with
Hmm.
technology because technology is something that we're all embracing right now. That
Yes.
this is, I mean, it can't. How do you miss it? I mean, you have to be under a rock not
Yes.
to see what's going on. How well, tell us a little bit about what you're doing, Doctor Bradshaw. You
Mhm.
tell us a little bit about what you're doing in the field of technology. They'd love to hear it.
Absolutely. Well, I'm bringing a lot of the AI programs to the institution that I work at. I am their academic program director of those emerging technologies. So every AI program I bring into the university, I teach. I've also taught and even trained faculty how to use this technology to so they will be familiar with it. So, when you think about AI, artificial intelligence, all that is basically is a computer system who likes to really do a lot of things for itself, but it doesn't have that humanistic reasoning. So it does a lot of intelligence, thinking, reasoning, and it tries to guess what you're doing. Like, for instance, when you go on Amazon, sometimes you get these emails, you go shopping at these websites, and then it may send you an email. I thought you might like this. That's what the AI is trying to do, is trying to predict or estimate what you're going to do. So I thought it was really interesting because I think that the Watchtower is also using some sort of AI to really try to change what they're doing. I had the opportunity to even go on Gemini and Chat GPT and just ask it those questions. What if you were a member of the governing body of the Jehovah's Witnesses? What would you do? And it gave me a list of steps of what it would do to get people to come back. And as you know, one of the number one things is to really be flexible with your policies. Doesn't that sound familiar with the Watchtower, how they started changing, saying you can wear pants? They got a whole lot new things to do.
Well, I'll tell you that got me thinking what you're talking about
Yes.
because uh, even prior to you coming on and talking this
Mhm.
week to you, I got really thinking because we saw these rapid fire changes in the
Yes.
Watchtower. I mean, it came like boom, 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 boom.
Yes.
It appeared like there wasn't really, like the governing body members sitting down and coming up with this stuff on their own.
Mhm.
Now, I don't want to say for sure that they're using AI, but when you have a religion that's
Mhm.
deconstructing, a religion that's going down the tubes,
Mhm.
you're going to do. I mean, if I was a businessman and my business was going down, I'd be asking
Mhm.
AI every 5 seconds, what do I do
Yes.
next? So I'm
Mhm.
sure, I mean, I'm just believing this in my own mind, I guess, but I believe that, the governing body members of the power to be of the Watchtower, that
Mhm.
they've got to be asking AI, well, how can we encourage more people to join us, like you say? How can we keep
Mhm.
people in? And they could come in and say, well, you have to relax some of these
Mhm.
rulings in the past. Now, and then I even played around with AI in the last couple of days, and I was
Mhm.
asking, did the Watchtower use this? But of course, well, there's no evidence of it. But
Mhm.
I've seen that in other AI comments
Yeah.
too, where
Mhm.
different platforms of AI will kind of give you different answers. Now,
Yeah.
what AI? Now there's Gemini, and of
Yeah.
course there's Chat GPT,
And it's
Co-pilot.
flawed.
Copilot. So,
Co-pilot. Mhm.
what one do you like the best?
I use all of them, honestly, but Gemini has been consistent, but Gemini will stop answering you. If it just seems like it wears out. It won't say anything. So I use Gemini, but I don't use it all the time because it does that. It does that for that particular reason. Because it's thinking. It's a large language model, but it thinks. And sometimes it will just totally shut down and not answer your question.
That's interesting. I've
Mhm.
experienced it myself. I use Gemini the most. Well,
Yeah.
what one do you use? What one?
Um, I have used the Copilot, but I do use Gemini, and also I didn't use Grok for Elon Musk. I haven't used that. Some colleagues of mine have used that, but I use Gemini, and I also use the Copilot quite a bit.
Well, that's good to know. Susan
Mhm.
here, she uses a Copilot, and she likes
Yes,
that a lot.
me too. Me
Now,
too.
what I'm gonna do. I have about a minute and a half clip here
Mhm.
of a Watchtower. I've gone through the library and kind of played around with a little bit, and
Mhm.
you can usually tell if something's, especially video and artwork, if it's
Mhm.
produced by
I
AI.
will.
And
Mhm.
many times, like there might be some fingers missing. You
Yes.
know, that I might have like a person with, the hair in the back is curled up in ways it shouldn't be.
Mhm.
Something just
Yep.
not normal about it. So you can kind of pick up. But even aside from that, we know the Watchtower in the
Mhm.
last, I'd say, 5 years has made a real effort to really highlight persecution. You know,
Mhm.
they're coming after us. We're going to go to jail. We're going to go to prison. And they've been putting videos out like that. And I've
Mm.
seen that many of these, they're AI generated, or
Yeah,
they're,
they
or
are.
they're using stock videos, buying them from
Mhm.
different companies that make them. But
Yes.
also, I'm going to play one right now. So
Mhm.
I want you to watch it.
Okay.
And I want you to tell me what you think. You'll see it right there on YouTube and the
Alrighty.
audience as well. So let's play the video and then we can talk about it. It's about a minute and a half long, but I got
Okay.
some thoughts on it. I want to get your thoughts and then we'll get the
Mhm.
thoughts of the audience as well. So let's play that right now and we will share that right now.
From the moment we are born, we experience the world through our senses. Touch lets us feel safe and loved. We use it to explore and learn. The sounds we hear convey meaning. With 2 ears, we can locate a sound's direction. Different wavelengths of light are perceived as a range of vivid colors. Images from each eye combine in 3D so that we can better judge depth and distance. We can detect over 10,000 smells by using a small group of cells that detect microscopic materials in the air. We taste, see, smell, touch, and hear in one enjoyable experience. All the senses converging in one place, our brain. Some 200 billion nerve cells connected by trillions of tiny contacts. The brain interprets chemical signals from each sense, connects new information to what we already know, and stores lasting memories. Life is a precious gift from our loving Creator. King David was inspired to write, "I praise you because in an awe-inspiring way, I am wonderfully made. Your works are wonderful. I know this very well."
Okay, we'll stop it right there. So you did see that, Kiana.
Yes, I did.
So I want you to give me your thoughts first. Then I'll give my thoughts and my feelings, and then we'll have the audience speak up. So what do you think, Kiana?
They did use some AI with that. You could see a couple areas of blur. Fingers, it didn't show every one of the fingers. That's what you got to really look out for. The blurriness of the side of them not, being totally right.
Yeah.
So those are some of the main indicators that I've always seen with AI simulations and videos all the time.
Now, do you think any of those people in that video were Jehovah's Witnesses?
No. If they were, I'd be shocked.
Yeah. Well, that's what I got too.
Yeah.
Really, even if I was still a staunch, loyal witness, I'd say those aren't Jehovah's Witnesses. They're not,
Exactly.
you know?
Mhm.
But see, the Watchtower, well, what they have done here, they made a concerted effort.
Mhm.
They definitely changed their video production. And there's a lot of that. You'll see it in a lot of their videos. So they are definitely using it. Now, I don't want to paint a picture that they're wrong because they're using AI. As a matter of fact,
Mhm.
even I have a sign advertising business, and I use AI in some of the logos and some of the different signage that I make. So I'm not going to condemn AI, but the
Mhm.
reason why I even had you on here is, and also the reason why I wanted to bring this up tonight is the Watchtower has done something here that is very unusual.
Yeah.
It was only a short time ago that they were condemning AI.
Mhm.
They really, really were. As a matter of fact, the governing body just a while ago, just a few years ago, in a Watchtower article, was saying that AI is really not a good thing, and even saying that Jehovah didn't really approve of it. Now they didn't come right out and say Jehovah didn't approve of it, but they
Mhm.
more or less suggested that Jehovah doesn't appreciate it. Now, so that's the reason why I picked this up. But the Watchtower, they're vacillating in a sea of uncertainty. It seems
Mhm.
as though they can't really make their minds up on what they want to do. So, I'm just thinking from a human standpoint here that you would turn to something like that. This is what I'm finding. People, they're not even trusting men anymore, women anymore. They're not trusting business anymore. They're not trusting religion anymore. They're beginning to trust AI. So,
Mhm.
everyone seems to be using that. So I wouldn't be a bit surprised if the Watchtower is even using it to direct them into the future. Now, you stay right here with us. I want to see if there's anybody out there. Now, did anyone out there see that video? Would you like to speak about it? Is there anything that you'd like to say about that video that we just played? Do you
I
think?
think they're going to use AI for everything from here on out. They fixed the finger problem. They have real animators. They can take their wonderful, talented animators now and make anything, and even another video professional won't be able to really tell.
Well, you're right, Pixie. I mean, AI, I'm sure you use it and everybody does. But see, I'm looking at an article here that was published just a couple of years ago, and it was a Watchtower article, and it deals with keep on the watch, and it says artificial intelligence, a blessing or a curse, and what does the Bible say? man, they really lambaste AI here. And I know the reason why they're doing it is the leaders of the Watchtower, the biggest concern they have about AI a few years ago, now they're using it, like I say, but the biggest concern they had is they were afraid of what it was going to do to expose them. And I don't know out there if people have looked up anything about Jehovah's Witnesses. I'm sure everyone out there has. But boy, not much good shows up. Have you noticed that too, Kiana? You punch in Jehovah's Witnesses.
Yes. You always see the negative first.
Yeah, that's what I noticed. They really don't speak highly. It's all critical, you know?
Mhm.
I think they'll get on the high-tech bandwagon. They'll change their image. Even the clip you played was talking about the brain. So maybe they'll try to teach high school science to the congregants. I don't know. I'm past caring too much about them at this point.
Mhm.
And the person that was talking to you that wanted to advertise, if they get a bus ad, it's the cheapest and it reaches the most people and you can make it beautiful.
Hey, Rick.
Yes.
Hey, of course, you know I can't see the video, but I'll make a comment as far as the AI part. I hear this all the time. I hear people say, "Oh, I'll never use AI. It's the mark of the beast. It's all this." But if you really think about it, right now AI is still relatively new. And of course, people are going to say it's all bad. They're going to say it's all evil. But trust me, years from now, maybe 2 or 3 years from now, everybody and their uncle is going to be using it. It's like I have a friend that I won't mention her name, but she swears up and down she will never, ever be in a self-driving car. And I told her, don't bet on it. Because once you say that, you'll end up in one. Because years ago, when I first got my first computer, this was back in the DOS days, I swore up and down, I will never switch to Windows. Never, 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 never. Well, guess who's using Windows right now?
Yeah.
So AI, AI is still relatively new. People are still worried about it. But trust me, it's gonna become so commonplace that Watchtower, like you said a few years ago, mentioned, oh, it's bad, it's whatever. But now, I would be willing to bet that Watchtower will be using AI for all their stuff from now on. That's probably one of the reasons why they're laying off a bunch of Bethelites. Maybe they're being replaced with AI. Who knows?
Oh, absolutely. You know, those bunker videos they played of, you know, the stormtroopers coming in and, you know, going to arrest the witnesses. That's all AI as well. And then I'm looking at this article that I got from the Watchtower, and just a couple of years ago now, it's also saying verbatim that AI it will be used as a tool of misinformation. See, now I can put a lot of legs on that misinformation. They're telling people that, you know, don't listen to it. Apostates are putting stuff in there. It's you'll be misinformed. So, you know, they were just that's something that was just a couple of years ago. In fact, they quoted this. Yeah, go ahead.
But you know, while they're saying all that, you might as well jump on some other bandwagons with it too, because while they're bad mouthing AI, that it can be used for evil, which is true. It is being used for evil as well as good. But witnesses shouldn't go to kingdom halls in cars, because after all, even though some people use cars for good, there are those out there that use cars as weapons. And airplanes, oh my goodness, don't fly, because not that aircraft, but another aircraft that's similar to it is in another country dropping bombs. So maybe they shouldn't fly either, because planes do drop bombs. Planes do kill. Buses or cars kill people. They better not go to hospitals, because there might be some bad doctors in there that kill people. So Watchtower might as well give up every bit of technology that is on the planet and just go back to horses, buggies, and walking, and old buildings for kingdom halls, because they can't have electricity, because that too can be bad. You know.
Well, I'll tell you, Susan and I, we just came back Hold on one second. We just came back from Illinois last week, and on the way home out on Route 80, going across the bridge was an Amish buggy.
Yeah.
And, I could see it trotting along, and I'm saying, my goodness, these guys are still living like in the dark ages. I mean, they're being left behind. And, you got to kind of embrace the new world that we have here.
What
So-
we were just saying is that works to use a horse and buggy, but they've tried to use the old way and don't get involved in all this new technology. The Amish are doing it, but guess what? It doesn't work. And eventually they end up using phones and cars and doctors and who knows what. So you can only hold out for so long.
You got it.
True.
Well,
And can I say just one thing? AI is not a new thing. AI has been talked about since the Turing period, and that's in 1950. He was a British mathematician. AI just never been really introduced to everyone yet. It's been since 1950 where AI was first spoken about. I was telling many, many people, and at institutions, I even told students that it's going to be pushed really heavily. And I said this in 2008. And look where we're at now. AI is being pushed really, really heavily.
Well, Kiana, now what were they doing? Were they holding it back deliberately? What was the reason?
That could be, a lot of experts are saying that they were doing that. But, I've wrote an article last year about AI and cybersecurity. And basically, I think they were scared of how everyone was going to react to it. They felt like everybody probably would not be ready for that kind of technology. I experienced some of that technology and then, use like virtual world platform environments that you see Meta. They even Facebook changed their name to Meta. The metaverse environment platforms also use AI. So AI has always been around. They just not heavily pushed it as much as they do now. Can be used for good and for evil. And I think the Watchtower is using it because their big thing now is wanting to get communication, a big communication company, make their videos better. AI helps a lot with communications and a lot with videos. So sure. I think they're kind of scared because it will tell you what they're doing. It will get out everything what they're doing. They do not want all of that.
Well, let me. You use it for. Yeah. Well, let me ask you, Kiana. It's the name Sam Altman. I'm sure you know who that is.
Yes.
Yeah. So he has they claim that he is. I don't know how you feel about it, but almost like he's the discoverer, creator of it. I mean,
no,
they almost. Who would you say is the creator of AI?
I think Sam Altman he's a creator of ChatGPT. He is the creator of that. Richard Turing did the Turing test with the AI. I think he is one of them, as well as what's that other university? IBM has used it back in the 80s as well. So I don't think he's the creator, but he created ChatGPT.
Well,
who would be the father of
Richard Turing is the father of that technology.
And how did he come upon that technology? Math?
Well,
science?
He used math. He's a mathematician in Britain. He was a mathematician there. So he came up with it that way because some of the best programmers and AI engineers that I know, they were mathematicians.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, the reason why I even bring up Sam Altman is
Alan Turing was the inventor of it?
Yes, he did. He first presented it in the 1950s. Yes, he did.
Now the reason why I bring up Sam Altman is he appeared before a congressional hearing.
Yeah,
and I don't know if you caught that and all, but you probably did because it's so of interest to you and you study it. But he was grilled by Congress people. I believe they were congressmen, not senators.
Yeah,
but he was grilled in a congressional hearing, and the government was concerned with where this is going. And they asked him, now, is there a potential danger to this? And he let the government know that he almost broke down crying. I mean, didn't get to that point, but he was really upset that this could go in directions that would be very, very challenging for humanity. And he really raised the hair on the back of the neck of many of these congressmen. And so, of course, he is like a front runner in this. Now we realize too that we have these hyperscalers, as you're familiar with, I'm sure, that are building these gigantic data centers. Now, just give us a little idea about these data centers. I mean, they are huge, big buildings, and there's going to be hundreds of them. Elon Musk is even thinking that he might want to put one on the moon. So, so tell us, Kiana, about now. Do you have any data centers out there where you live in North Carolina?
No, thank goodness I don't. And if it is, it's probably far up near the mountains. It's nowhere near me. Nowhere near me. I'm glad of that.
Are you glad of that? No, why would you be glad of that?
Because it uses too much electric and it uses too much water. You know, you're going to need those to power all of that, you know, to keep the systems cool and keep them working properly. And I mean, I was looking at an article a couple of days ago, and it said that they noticed that some of these data centers are going to even being put more so in places that have drought problems. And that's scary with the amount of water that it uses and electricity. I don't understand that.
Oh, you're right. You're right. Because I'll tell you, my neighbor next to my business, I didn't realize what it was. It's a data center.
Yeah.
It's huge. I didn't know what they were making there. I thought it was a manufacturing something, but I found out the data center. So when my wife Googled it and found out about it, we took a little ride around the whole building. Of course, you can't get through there. It's like Fort Knox. They had barbed wire fence, and of course they have all the data. Then I found out what they have the data on, and they keep data on the economic conditions in this country. You know, the job rates, and they also give like the current interest rates and all of that stuff, and they keep all of that data there. Now I got thinking, what's happening here today? We're on YouTube here tonight and Facebook. That this will be put into a data center somewhere and be there for the eons of time if the world goes on. So every single thing, our conversation here tonight, who we talked to on the telephone today, what products we bought with our credit cards, this is all going to be stored somewhere. So you can imagine the amount of space, the amount of memory. That's why these chip stocks are going like crazy. NVIDIA and Applied Materials and all of these companies are going nuts out there because they can't make enough of them. It's really, now the other thought I had on this, Kiana, is, and Susan and I brought this up, and a man at work, he worked for me, and he was telling me, he says, Rick, where do you think all of this technology has come from? So, you know, I had to think about it. I mean, I know it comes from people like yourself that go and get doctorate degrees, and you study this and you learn and you share things with us. But this stuff is so unusually advanced that I'm saying, where did it come from? So he says, Rick, would you believe, and he heard it on the news. He says, I heard that it's coming from either aliens or the demonic realm. Well, what's your feelings on that, Kiana?
I don't know, because I've had seen some interviews with some people in Silicon Valley talk about they would get, you know, meetings with stuff, you know, beings like that to adapt and create some of this technology. So I really don't know, but I think that would be a slippery slope if that's what they're doing. You know, it just would be. So I just don't know, but I've heard some credible people that worked in Silicon Valley for decades, and I really believe what they're saying, especially when they said, hey, this is what you had to do. And some of the ones that did it, you know, or said that they want to bring about this technology were people like Mark Zuckerberg and others. So,
and what do they do?
I don't know.
I was wondering, Kiana, what do they have to do to get this started, to get this information? do they go to different dimensions?
No, they said that it would come visit them. This is what they said. They said it would come visit them and then see the ones that they were visit, notice they're the ones that are the big tech people now. And he said Mark Zuckerberg was one of them. And I think it mentioned Sam Altman and some other ones. So I'm like, okay.
If I could share just a short
Mhm.
experience, I have used AI quite a bit. And sometimes,
Mhm.
like you said, it depends on how you ask the question,
Yeah.
how they'll answer you. If you ask a question in a different way, it'll give you a
Mhm.
different answer.
Yeah.
I asked AI if it could pray for me,
Mhm.
and it said, no, I cannot pray for you. So that's just in a short
Yeah.
experience of
AI is whatever someone puts in it. If you're going to have an ignorant narcissist or if he's racist, they will put all of that in AI.
Yeah, well, that's what
That bias. That's why there's a lot of bias in AI.
yeah, that's
That's
what we
it.
feel. We both feel that way because I'm thinking, in fact, I'll tell you what, we had a convention up here, and maybe
Mhm.
next time we ever have one, you're going to come up and be with us,
Yeah,
Kiana.
that would be great.
And what we had is if you go into AI
Mhm.
and you say what was the largest gathering of ex-Jehovah's Witnesses ever in the history, it talks about the Still Alive in 2025 convention up there in Boston. Now, and it must have picked up on things we were saying.
Mhm.
And yeah, so that, it's pretty good about it. I mean, it's right there. It says there's lots of convention, but then someone did an AI video on me in the last couple of weeks.
Oh
And
boy.
I don't know what they were trying to prove, but
Mhm.
the name of the video was Rick Farron Exposed.
Oh
And
boy.
oh my God, I couldn't believe it. So first of all, it started out saying that, this tele network was true. We reach a lot of people and people call in
Mhm.
all over the place. That's true. But also that what you don't know is Rick Farron is a multi-millionaire.
Oh
And
my goodness. That sounds JW to me.
yeah, no, it
Oh,
said
girls.
it said that Rick Farron has a net worth of $351 million.
Oh my
And
goodness.
I couldn't believe this. And at the same time, it said that I have an asset management company that I run. And
Oh
also
wow.
I'm a big time executive with Disney Studios.
Okay.
So,
Whoa.
we got such a kick out of that. I played it last Saturday night, and I just wanted to let people know that's not me. So it was so funny after that came out. A guy emailed me after the program. He says, "Rick, can I get a loan?"
Oh, oh man.
It was crazy. We was so funny, but it was kind of interesting to do. So you don't know.
Mhm.
You can't take it all to the bank and cash it because you don't really know if it's true or not. And
Yeah.
so it's just the information that is available that they have to
Mhm.
go on. So
Yeah.
I assume that I don't know of any other gathering that had over 350 people, but somewhere in time maybe there's another one, but AI just never picked up on it.
Yeah. Mhm.
How that could happen. Well,
Absolutely.
This is Grace from Sweden. I have a question for Dr. Bradshaw.
Yes.
So there is a form of AI, an app you can download to your cell phone, and it's called Pi.
Mhm.
So I wanted to know, have you used it? And if so, what is your opinion?
You said an app called Ty?
Yes, Pi, Pi. It's the
Oh,
same.
Pi. I use Pi.
Pi.
I use that. It's just your AI digital assistant. You can ask Pi whatever you like. You can customize his voice. You can make him sound British, American, or what have you. You download it on your phone, and he just finds things for you. If you could say, Pi, I'm writing an article. I'm writing an article about some of the ethics with AI, and it'll pull up some things, and you can look at it, and you're like, oh, okay. But I really just basically go to I just look at some of the suggestions that it provides, but you can ask Pi for anything and pretty much will tell you. Like You can ask it how many F5 tornadoes were hit the United States in the past 20 years, and Pi will find that information for you and give it to you.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good app.
So you use it sometimes?
Yes, I use it. I use that quite a bit. Yes.
Well, I think it's nice, but you have to know American English very well, which I do, so it's not a problem for me. But I tried Swedish, and it didn't go very well for it now.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It never really gave me an issue. It just depends, you know. I know they did some updates to it, so I don't know if that could be an issue.
No, but you speak English, so it's not a problem. It can understand English, but like
that's what I think it is. They need to make it
confused.
all language. Yes.
Rick?
Yes.
Hi, it's Steve. I don't know if you or the doctor or anyone has seen, but they recently did a study where they surveyed a bunch of different AI programs, and the number one religion that they all said to stay away from was Jehovah's Witnesses.
Well, Steve, that's good you bring that up, because I'll tell you what, I have noticed, and we talked about it just a few minutes ago there with Kiana. We actually, what pops up, you put Jehovah's Witnesses in AI, and the Watchtower knows it. Everything comes up critical, negative, cynical, nothing good.
Right. See, that information, I think, is taken from the public. And see, the reason is, like, people do ask why the government doesn't step in and call Jehovah's Witnesses a cult. The reason is because legally they can't. It's the separation of church and state. So unless something extreme, as we've seen, you know, in history of extreme cults, but just their nonsense that they do is not enough for them to get them in trouble and get labeled as an official cult from the government, and that's why it's never done. And so, and then if you look at the big picture with AI, you go back a few decades, you know, when the internet came out and when all these chat rooms started, people began communicating through text message, through chat. Their social interaction, physical social one-on-one acting or in groups was diminished greatly. People lost the ability to socialize. And now with AI, it's like phase two. People are going on AI and they're making literal AI friends, AI boyfriends, girlfriends, companions, and they truly get emotionally upset if they are cut off from contact from these their bots friends. So it's really penetrating deep into the minds of people throughout the world. It's pretty serious, and people are pretty easily convinced that these things are their friends instead of joining a group or getting friends together. They're not capable of that. So they're going to believe AI is their God. They do have AI religions. So AI is going to be controlling the masses.
Wow, Steve, thank you for sharing that. Now, Kiana, did you hear of that? That people are getting emotionally attached to this?
Yeah, they're getting emotionally attached. I think a lot of that, where people start disconnecting is when social media started coming out. They started doing it then. Because if you think about it, only governments and businesses had internet. It was not available to the public. So when they start releasing the internet, everybody said, oh, that's cool. You know, you got AOL. Remember, you used to come in the cereal boxes and everything. Now, when they did the social media has really gotten people an opportunity to post comments and talk to each other up there, neglecting people in real life. And what AI now, people are doing, they're turning to AI before they turn to family. So that's a dangerous slope with what they're doing. They're neglecting actual social conversations and turning to technology for all their conversations.
Well,
so I really try to even tell my students, look, it's a tool, not a rule. Don't use it all the time. Talk to people.
Well, that's you got me thinking here, because I'm thinking, let's just use an example here. So suppose there's a young girl in school, and maybe in high school, and she's very young, maybe only about 16, and so she gets pregnant. Now all of a sudden, she's scared to death to go to mom and dad. She's not going to tell anybody. So she's going to share these things with Chat GPT or someone. And then, they're going to go back and forth. So there's going to be a lot of secret information between people in AI. And I can see a danger zone there. Can you see one?
Yes, I see it. I see it. And it's really scary. That's really scary within itself because, it's good for information. It's good for communications and using it for some things, but not to just spend your whole entire day around it. It's not good for that. It's like an overuse of it.
And then I'm even thinking because go ahead. Yep.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you, Rick. It's Maverick here from London.
Maverick, yes.
Yeah, this is a really good subject to talk about because whether we are in denial about the impact that AI is going to have on, or is already having, it's here. Like that horse has bolted already. So we've got to learn how to use it, as already been mentioned. I think we should embrace its positive things because, like, for me, it's been a game changer in my work, and it's opened so many doors for me now in what I'm doing, which would have cost me thousands, literally tens of thousands of pounds or dollars, needing a team of people who are experts at the area I'm trying to work in. So for those things, it's fantastic. But like we just mentioned, I think Kiana was saying, it was so true that the moment you start asking it philosophical questions like, what do you think about this and what do you feel about that? It's going to give you probably a consensus of known data. So you're going to get a lot of different views. And then the trouble is that because we're humans, we process everything as if we are talking to someone. And because it communicates with us as if you're talking to a real person, it's so easy to just say, oh, he said this and she said that, and actually give it a pronoun as if it's a real person. So I use it daily. I use AI daily. It's for my work, and it's an absolute game changer. But here's the thing, though. We're talking about Watchtower very quickly before I forget. This is a fantastic time if you're a PMO or someone questioning the Watchtower, because before it used to take you a lifetime to gather all of the information relative to the subject you were researching on the Watchtower. Now you can join the dots so easily. You can say to ChatGPT, for example, give me all of the times that Watchtower said blah, blah, blah about blood issue. Boom, literally in seconds, you've got every reference. Now, Watchtower does not like that because it knows it can't argue with that kind of level of facts. But they themselves, we know 100% that they are using it. They are using it, Rick, and they're going to continue to use it. But at the same time, with the other side of their mouth, they're going to be telling the rank and file, be careful, don't use it. Be careful because it's going to gaslight you. And funny enough, it does gaslight, actually, because if you ask it a question, AI does gaslight. I've noticed it. Like you'll ask it something, and what do you think of this? And that's the thing I made a mistake. I asked the question, what do you think about this? And I'm thinking, hang on a minute, if I ask that, it's going to be a philosophical response. And then I say, oh, hang on a minute, you said just a minute ago that was a good idea, but now you're telling me it's not a good idea. So that's where it's the skill, that's the skill of being able to, and I did hear somebody say the two biggest skills for the next sort of decade is how to prompt or how to talk to AI and your creative imagination. Those are the two biggest things that a person can bring to the table, because the nuts and bolts stuff of it executing what you're asking it to do, that's already so advanced. If you made a website even 2 years ago, or it'd take you a few months to do a really good website. Now it's literally 25 minutes for the same amount of work. So, it's incredible. But yeah, Watchtower is going to be in a really tricky. It seems like they always seems to be they're treading a fine line. They're always on the tightrope because they're going to be very scared about the access that the rank and file have to AI and asking very awkward questions about its history. But at the same time, they know they need it because they're using it as their PR advisory service, and we know that's happening, Rick. So this is a fascinating subject, and there's so many angles to approach it. But I just thought, so I appreciate Kiana's input as well, and it's a great subject. Should return to this subject quite frequently, Rick, because it's really it's something that's constantly changing as well. So it's good to keep tabs. But thank you.
Well, you're very welcome. So what do you think of that? What do you think of that, Kiana?
I think that's a wonderful idea. I do, because they are using it, but they want control. They don't like that AI is bringing all that up. They want to have the control. They've always been like that. So that's what they're scared of, losing control.
When you and I, Kiana and Susan and others listening in, a few years back, even when we wanted to, when we were distancing ourselves from the Watchtower, we were trying to find out. We'd Google search, we'd Bing search, and like Maverick was just saying, well, you could get the information, but not as quick and not as advanced. Like he was saying, you want to find out every place that the Watchtower said, don't take a blood transfusion in the Watchtower. Bingo, within not even seconds, you've got numerous places where that came up. So this is dangerous to the Watchtower. In fact, I've always said that the internet is the great equalizer, but I'm going to say AI is the great destroyer of the Watchtower. Yeah,
it is.
Well, it's amazing. Anyone else have any questions for Kiana? We're kind of loose here. I know she's kind of she was so nice to come on here tonight.
Absolutely.
So any other thoughts for Kiana? She certainly knows her business. We're gonna get her back on here again. We're not gonna just let her go because she has so much she can share with us. In fact, the audience really loves you, Kiana.
Oh, thank you. Thank you, everyone.
So we got I think we have one more caller here. Let's go with is that 603 or is that 575? I think it's 603. Go ahead. How's it? 585. Let me put my glasses on here. I have a hard time seeing the screen. It's not too dark. Okay, hold on.
Yeah, Rick. Yeah, it's 58. I'm at 585. I just wanted to ask Kiana if she understood that the AI centers and everything that's being planned really has to do with the beast system and the fact that they're going to survey everyone to make sure that they bow down to the beast in the image, and they want to make sure that anyone that doesn't, they'll be killed. I don't know if she understands that or if she agrees with that, or I'd like to hear her thoughts.
Well, I have to say that I do agree that it's going to be used for some type of beef system. The reason why, because there's such a push for us to go digital with the currency. And they want to use AI to control. So honestly, I do agree with that. But I cannot say what's going to happen, in future wise, but that's what they want. I talk to a lot of people that's in the tech industry and everything, and they would give certain inputs to that being what it will be. That's what they're using it for. So data centers are using up a lot of water and a lot of electricity, but they have the purpose to really keep every data from everybody. Like, for example, when I go to the airport, they even got can you look at this camera, please, so it can facially recognize your face. Don't ever participate in that. Because, you give the government a lot, but why do you want to give them access to your face? Over there in Europe, they do not allow that because they feel your facial recognition is your data and it belongs to you. No government has a right to surveil you. Here, it's totally different. They want to surveil you with that. And they are going to use AI to do different things similar to that. I can't speak for the vast ways they're going to use it, but that is pretty evident from some of the people that I've talked to that they plan to use that for.
Kiana, you keep using that term they. Who is the they that you're referring
Oh,
to?
some of my Silicon Valley friends that, are in California and Silicon Valley, and they work behind the scenes. Some of them work, at Meta. Is even someone that I know that works personally at the Meta. He's in the Meta AI department as well.
Wow. So
Yeah.
that caller that called in. So what you were doing there, caller, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're drawing a connection between AI and the beast. Is that what you were saying? Yes.
Correct.
All
The
right.
beast system is going to surveil everyone to make sure that everyone bows down and agrees with, the despicable thing that depopulates, known as the United Nations, when they set up their one world government. And if you don't agree with that,
Yeah.
hey, you're going to be killed.
Well, I'll tell you, no, in fact, last night when I was talking to Kiana, I'm even, my mind is running in a million different directions here. You don't know where to stop with this. But I even got thinking, is it possible? Is it possible AI could actually be the man of lawlessness? Or could it be the new, yeah.
No, the man of lawlessness is the son of destruction, which is a human. Son of destruction is the same term for Judas. So it's somebody that's a traitor. It's a
You
human.
think it's Elon Musk? Because some people were saying that, look at all the money he's acquiring. He's acquiring so much money. And he did hint at certain things. And think about the brain chip. I'm not comfortable with any of that. Putting something on your brain to control your thoughts, that's not a good thing. I don't mind using AI to help in healthcare or for other things, but some things getting a little too extreme, it just keeps you like, okay, something's going on.
Well,
Elon Musk said AI is summoning the demon. He said that.
He
said,
did.
We gotta be careful.
He sure
We're
did.
summoning the demon.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Wow, I never heard that. But
He did say that. He said
yeah,
that.
that's right. Oh, we have another caller. Go ahead, caller. Ask Kiana a question.
I just had a quick question for Dr. Bradshaw. I just wondered if you were familiar with the gentleman in Watchtower. I don't know his name, but he is the person that's responsible for the MEPS system. And I was told by other parties that he is considered kind of a tech pioneer, like a Gates or a Steve Jobs and Wozniak or any of these guys. Are you familiar with him at all?
No, I'm sorry, I'm not.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Watchtower made such a big deal. I believe it was in the 80s with this MEP system. I don't know if you're familiar with it, but it allowed Watchtower to be able to print in simultaneous languages, and apparently no other company had that. And they all have it now because Watchtower sold it to them. Barbara Anderson came on this very show that you're on right now and said that they being Watchtower, sold that technology to IBM, Microsoft, and others. And I know they sold it to Microsoft because they have lifetime software from Microsoft as a part of that deal. So I was just wondering if you knew anything about that person. And I also wondered, and I'll be extremely brief, I used to notice when I was a witness that Watchtower in the study article would list or mention scriptures. And when you would go and read the scripture had nothing whatsoever to do with what they were talking about in the paragraph. And I began to wonder, why would you put scriptures in here that don't have anything to do with it? Now I'm wondering, in hindsight, if they were actually using some sort of an application to put those Watchtower articles together, and it was referencing those verses, and of course there's no human to verify that those verses really fit. That's one plausible explanation. So maybe Watchtower has been using something akin to AI all along to write some of these articles.
They have. Yep. I think they were using something a long time ago.
Yeah. Well, like I said, supposedly they have a tech pioneer right there.
Yeah,
And that wrote the EP system. He's still there unless he's passed. So maybe they were using something akin to that. Great. Thank you. And thank you for coming on the show.
Absolutely.
Well,
I have a question.
Go ahead, Pixie.
When we do a search using one of these systems, there's been some medical inaccuracies in a lot of them.
Yeah.
What would your advice be? Do we do a Boolean search and say any and all? That would be very lengthy. We talked about not saying what do you think about or how do you feel about and put the topic. What would be your suggestion to get a good search result?
Good search result. Sometimes you could put the 2 semicolon marks or the commas around your wording, or accent in a way, because some of the language models that is using, some may be smaller than others, so it's going to give you inaccurate information. But if it's using a large language model where it's used to a lot of reasoning and questions and knowledge, usually sometimes when I want to search, I would word it a certain way, or I would use those comma marks and it'll get me only that information on that particular area. Like if I search something that's talking about cancer, I will put a colon around there or those common marks, so that way it can go ahead and get me information about that, not something that's inaccurate or another topic. So that's sometimes what I do to totally search that particular topic. I would do that, or word it in a way and say, what information can you provide or research on cancer? So you would have to word it a certain way to get a good search instead of something that's not really accurate.
Thank you. That's very helpful.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
How about 860? You want to come on 860? You're on with us. Go ahead.
Hi, Rick. It's me, Deborah. I just wanted to say, first of all, it's nice to see you, and especially Susan. I wanted to call in earlier to say it's so nice to see her on camera again. Thank you, Susan. You're lovely, and I hope we see more of you.
I hope so too.
A question for Kiana. Well, not really so much a question, but when you were talking about facial recognition, like at the airports and all this and all that, I know for certain, and I know this because my son is disabled, and I'm in charge of, his financial stuff.
Mm-hmm.
When you go to the grocery store and you're on state or you have Social Security or whatever, your facial recognition is recognized if you use an ATM debit, a state card, anything like that. You are recognized in those computers. They take a picture of you with your purchases and stuff. So, I mean, it's just, it's crazy. I mean, even when you go to the bank and you make a withdrawal, they have cameras right there.
Yeah.
And they take not just your picture, it's a facial recognition to make sure that that's you. So it's really basically everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And even if you pay by cash, I mean, I don't know how that works, but your picture still goes on there. Your facial recognition is still in that computer.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just like, that's where I think about the surveillance, because even when you're driving in a car, you're going down the street, you see the little platforms look like a little small solar panel. That's actually a camera. They're taking pictures of your your license plates. So if you could deny one source of surveillance, that's why I denied at the airport, because I mean, they take pictures of you everywhere. Do you really want them to have every single second of your life?
Yeah. I've noticed in the past 5 years, those, they look like speedometers on the sides of the roads. And they tell you how fast you're going.
Yep.
There's cameras in there that are taking pictures of you going down the road.
Yep.
And it's like, if they want to at any given time, they can say, well, you were going down this road, at 55 miles an hour in a 35-mile zone.
Yeah.
And we caught you doing this repeatedly. We're going to start ticketing you and fining you, or whatever the case might be. It is getting scary. I mean,
it is.
This is what you call police stating.
Yes. Yep. Mass
just
police
want
state
to
surveillance.
that's all.
Yes.
It's everywhere. It's everywhere.
It
You walk
is.
into a hospital. You walk into a hospital as an emergency. You know, you got kids or whatever. You walk in. They've got cameras right there.
Yeah. It's right there.
Looking right at you. And that's why they ask you for your ID, so that they can match the picture of your ID with your facial recognition of the camera that's pointing right at the triage desk.
Yeah.
As you walk in the hospital.
And they're doing it on games too, because my children don't want to, and they will ask them, show your face. Now they're doing it on games now. So they don't want to play those games anymore. You have to show your face, or we won't let you talk to your friends. You can't chat with your friends if you don't show your face. They're willing to give that up.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's scary.
It
I
is.
mean,
It's very
when
scary.
you think about it, that's really not freedom. That
No,
is
it's
freedom.
not. It's not freedom at all.
I mean, it's terrible the way things are. But I just wanted people to be aware. If you've got, let's say, if I have to go into the store and my son is not able to go into the store and I have to use his state card to get him something that he wants, within 20 minutes of me getting home, I will get a call, or he will get a call from the state, you know, verifying his ID or whatever, and that it's advisable that he changes his PIN number. Believe it. It's freaky.
That's creepy, bro.
Geez, Deborah's got me scared here, Deborah. I mean, really.
Yes.
I never.
Well, don't go around using anybody else's bank card. No, because there's a lot of times that he can't go to the store, so I have to go for him, and he doesn't drive because he's disabled. So I have to go and I have to use his card to get the things that he wants, and within 20 minutes to an hour, I get home and he's receiving a phone call about, be careful of your identity, you know, change your password, you know, get a hold of us, you know, it's just scary. But
well, see, that's what scares me, Deborah. Deborah, that's what scares me, because I'm thinking, you know, I'm just thinking here about the mark of the beast, and how, you know, we have conspiratorial people come on here from time to time, and how, you know, we really even read and give feeling to the thought that someday you're not going to be able to buy anything, even according to the scriptures, unless you have the mark of the beast.
Exactly.
So I'm thinking in terms of even going in there, and so you go in to help your son, and now, you know, he's being called. So it's kind of like maybe a test run to, you know, to make sure the right person is buying this, so they're not going to be able to buy it, you know?
Well, even with the smart meters, you heard about the smart meters. They started putting those in, 10, 15 years ago? The smart meters on your homes. You know what those were for, right?
No. Tell us.
Those smart meters were to implement the regulation of how much electricity you use. And if you go over a certain limit of electricity every month, let's say you're a family of two, and hypothetically they allow you $120 a month for electricity. If you go over that, they have the power to be able to shut that off after $120. After $120. If you already met your $120 after the 15th of the month,
they can
shut that off.
Wow.
That's what that was for. It's coming to that point. All these smart appliances and stuff, they're able to read what you have in your refrigerator. Well, you still have a half a gallon of milk, or you don't have any milk, and you're only allotted so much money every month on your card that you get. So we can't allow you any more money for milk or eggs or bread or anything that has to be refrigerated. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Well,
You went
Deborah,
out, you went out.
I'll tell you what, I mean, what you're saying here makes sense because they do have these smart refrigerators. They really do. As a
Yeah.
matter of fact, even Amazon, I was even hearing about what they're doing. They can kind of see what's in your refrigerator and what you need, and they'll bring it to you automatically.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah, without even
There's
calling
a
them up.
refrigerator out now that lets you know you're running low on milk.
Yeah.
Or you're running low on butter.
Oh,
Or
right.
whatever the case might be. Yeah, so I mean, it's coming to that point. The Bible is absolutely correct. You're not going to be able to buy or sell. It's scary, but it's something we're going to be going through. You have to be prepared.
Well, there you go, Deborah. Well, thank you for enlightening us all tonight and scaring half of us to death, but it's good. Thank you.
No, I didn't mean to scare anybody.
I have one more tech question.
Go ahead, Pixie.
I have one more tech question. It was a discussion on a board the other week about it. For instance, if I were to verbalize Paris, then all of a sudden the algorithm will give me wonderful vacation pictures of Paris. The people were saying that they had something in their minds that they hadn't verbalized, and that showed up too. I would like the comment. I would like an answer of that.
That's happened to me on more than one occasion, Pixie.
Have you mentioned Paris before?
Well,
Not
yeah,
Paris,
but sometimes it's something I haven't mentioned, and the people on the thread said that it was something they'd only thought about. And some people had a tinfoil hat notion. Can this system read our minds?
No, it's all AI does is tries to predict. It does a predictive analytics. And what it'll do, it'll try to predict some of the things that you like according to what it sees you're doing on your phone. So everything that you're doing on your smartphone, it's going to start to predict different things about you. You don't even have to mention it because it was like, it did that to me. Oh, you need to buy some of this, because it knows I usually get that, but it predicted it without me saying it. So it is going to do things like that according to the patterns it sees you doing, recognizing those patterns, and it tries to use some kind of estimation or prediction to guess that. That's what it does. I don't think it reads your mind, but it can do that.
Thank you.
Well, Kiana, we'll cut you some slack here. We'll let you get back to business. We want to thank you very much. What's your last words, Kiana? What would you like to say?
We could just use AI. AI could use it for some good things, but we see how, messed up and what plans people like to use it for. But there is some good advantages to using it, so don't be so scared about AI. I just don't get into like, oh, I want to use it for this purpose. So use it for things that, are useful to you, because some people love using them for grocery shopping, for their list and everything. It also helps with, predicting what you want and like, oh, I saw you buying this. Do you want to buy some more? So use it for like useful things. That's what I think.
Well, thank you. You're a fine lady, Kiana. You really, really are. And I really thank you for contacting me and wanting to come on the program tonight. We really appreciate it. And tell your husband, too, we appreciate him letting you have the time to do this, okay?
Absolutely. I sure will. Thank you, everyone.
We're proud to have a woman of your caliber in the ex-witness community. Thank you.
Absolutely. Take care, everyone.
We'll be in touch.
Bye,
Thank you.
Kiana.
Yeah, bye-bye.
Bye.
Well, what do you think of that? That is an amazing woman, and she's done so much in the world of AI. And hey, we're all enlightened tonight. And in fact, really, she got me thinking. Deborah got me thinking. I never realized, and also the caller calling in about the mark of the beast. Boy, I'll tell you what, it is getting a little scary. It is getting a little scary. We just have to see what happens and how the events unfold. So just another thing I wanted to bring up. I don't know if anybody saw the September 2026 Watchtower. Well, they're back to their old tactics again. I was reviewing it today, and right off the bat, I've been hearing a lot of people on here really, and even myself, I've said numerous times that we know the Watchtower is changing. We know they're rebranding. We know it's not like your grandfather's organization anymore. But then when I read the Watchtower of 2026, it's like it's the same old cult again. It's they say all these changes and it's a new organization, but then I'm noticing some of the things in the 2026 Watchtower that seem to be going back to being the crazy organization that it's always been. For example, just a few quotes that I made note of here that it was in the 2026 Watchtower. Now, they haven't studied that yet, but this is some of the things that I picked up. And now, this is, again, crazy stuff. One of the quotes from the Watchtower here is, "We will follow the direction we receive, even if we do not fully understand all the reasons for it, or if doing so angers those who hate Jehovah." So what it's saying here is, again, even if it's not sensible, even if it's not logical from a human standpoint, they just reword a little bit different here. Follow the direction, even if you don't fully understand it. Now, really, would you follow directions that, even if you don't understand it? I mean, who would say that that direction would land up on the right place? So, Watchtower's back to this again.
What if the directions were on a prescription bottle and it said, take this medicine 3 times a day, but it was poison?
Yeah.
You're going to follow those instructions.
So,
really?
Yeah. So, but see, this is really, as much as they're changing, they're really not changing. As much as they're rebranding, it's still the crazy stuff. Here's another quote: "We will follow the direction we receive." Well, I just gave you that one. Here's another one: "We are living in the last days of the last days." And now this is in the September 26 article. Now, we've heard that before. How many times have we heard that at Jehovah's Witnesses? We are living.
Sounds like they're back to that Armageddon frosting again.
So, this is in the 2026 Watchtower. And then it goes on to say, we are living in a world that is ruled by Satan. I mean, how many times have we heard that? I'd like to see them bending the rules here. Some of these quotes, I mean, it's just like verbatim of, Watchtowers back in the 1950s and 60s. And then it says,
Hey, Brother Sharon, if they're kings and ruling, do they know Satan personally?
well, it appears as though they must. Now, another quote here is, "But Satan has a large number of wicked angels on his side." Well, those are the demons, right? "And the spirit of the world which Satan promotes is everywhere." See, they're still up to that again, trying to scare the living daylights out of the witnesses. This is all from the 2026 Watchtower that I get some of this information, all of this information from. Another quote is, "Like air that is polluted by harmful contaminants, the spirit of the world is harmful." I mean, when we were witnesses, maybe I would have sucked that up and said, wow, the spirit of the world is harmful. I mean, this is...
That's not new
No.
information.
So this is the type of stuff that they're continuing to tell the people. So I wanted to bring that up tonight here on the 6 screen, because
it says Satan and his powerful evil army of spirit creatures. It doesn't say angels or demons, it's spirit creatures. So maybe they're, I don't know, aliens, space aliens. They're after you. If you want to survive, you will maintain your membership with the Watchtower. Well, that's going to scare you. Are you going to leave now?
Well, this is, common stuff, Susan. This is exactly what the Watchtower has been doing for a long time. And then, of course, it really, the Watchtower wants your money. So it's evident that they're going to keep you scared to death. They're going to keep you in the organization. I mean, I would love to see something like, I'd like to see some comments made, some quotes made in that Watchtower. But remember, dear brothers and sisters, the governing body loves you very much. Now, please donate. You don't see stuff like that, but you do see them saying that after every JW broadcast. You see it as well as I see it. Well, the governing body loves you. So, anyways, I wanted to bring that up tonight. But now, listen. Now, next week, when you come into the program, we're gonna talk about this. Someone wants. Yes, go ahead. Someone will speak up, okay? Because someone just unmuted. But anyways, what I want to say is we're going to end it here for tonight. Now, the after party, that I'm going to leave the telephone lines open. There's a lot of people on the phone lines right now. So I'm going to leave the telephone lines open. Nothing's going to be recorded. Nothing's going to be, it's not on Facebook. It's not on YouTube. If you'd like to just come in and talk to your fellow ex-witnesses, they're on here tonight. And what you can do is make sure now that if you want to speak up, you hit *6. And don't everybody talk over everybody. And please be civil in there. So I wanted to thank everyone for coming in tonight. I wanted to thank our guest, Kiana, and all those people that called in. It really was a good night. A lot of people calling in. And there'll be no 6 Queen Sunday. That'll be next week. So I want you guys all to stand tall. Don't you ever give in, up, or out. And the last one, leaving the Watchtower, please turn off the new light. After party's next. We'll see you next Saturday night, 6 o'clock with Anne Marie.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.